Grace and peace to you, Christ community family. I hope and pray you're healthy and well as we come together for another Wednesday's Word, our midweek devotionals. We continue our study through the 10 Commandments in our video devotionals. The first commandment we studied and learned was that you shall have no other gods before me. That helps set the tone of not only our identity, but also the foundation of our convictions and belief in who and what we believe and how we believe. The second commandment we studied is you shall not make for yourself an idol, which helps us remember that we cannot create images that make it easier for us to picture God or imagine God or worship God. We cannot try to create ways to make it easier for us to understand God. We cannot picture God within our own human limitations, which would then make faith useless. Now, the third commandment that we're studying this week is you shall not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Exodus chapter 20 verse 7 teaches us, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Remember the purpose of the 10 Commandments, right? It's supposed to help us in our worship to God, in our belief in God, and our foundational values in God, in how we apply our beliefs, in who we believe in, and in our everyday walk. Now, in that sense, I feel like this is one of the most important commandments out of the 10 Commandments. Don't misuse the name of the Lord. Don't use God's name in vain. And it's very important because you don't know how many times in casual settings, us human beings, we can hear people say, oh my God, or Jesus Christ. It's like when the 10 Commandments were written thousands and thousands of years ago, that they knew, right? The people then knew, God knew that it would still hold true and have a lot of weight today. Because we've lost the sacredness in our worship to God. We've lost the sacredness in our actions of God. We've lost the reverence where we don't even fear and tremble when we say God's name. We've lost the reverence where we don't even fear and tremble when we misuse God's name. See, the third commandment is a reminder to go back to that sacredness, to go back to that reverence, to go back to that fear and trembling, where we think twice before we even let it slip out of our mouths. I'm grateful and appreciative in how this verse in Exodus also calls us out on people who misuse his name. Not just the people who take his name for granted, but people who misuse his name. Because there are people out there who misuse God's name. There are people out there who distort God's name. There are people out there who abuse God's name. But this third commandment teaches us, stop. Stop. May we never forget or take for granted that name above all names. May we honor that name. May we revere that name. May we hold on to the sacredness of God's authority and truth in that name above all names. I invite you to join us in prayer for our short-term missions team as they get ready to get sent out this weekend to proclaim and live out the name above all names. Love you all, but God loves you more. I hope you have a blessed week.